Hey guys, I'm back here again with another Let's Code video. I'm not really great at these, I don't think, because I say a lot and I can't edit it out. It's not scripted, and it's hard to talk and code for me a lot of times, like simultaneously do a good job of coding and talking. It's like, rubbing your stomach and patting your head or something. But anyway, in this video, I'm going to be building out, or I'm going to attempt to build out a remote control app that's going to be a web app that I can use from my phone or from my computer in order to control my TV. And this is, in the future, I'm going to release an actual, polished video that's the whole build process, where I'm going to be using the ESP8266 that I just did a video on how to flash Esprino. And go check that out if you're interested in getting JavaScript running on your microcontrollers. But anyway, I'm basically going to be doing a video in the future where it kind of encompasses the whole build process. It's going to be a shorter, more polished video of building this remote control. So anyway, here's the premise. We want to be able to control certain things from our phone, certain things on our TV from my phone, so that I don't have to go back to, if I'm watching YouTube and I've got it Chromecasted up to my TV or whatever, I'm doing all that control from my phone anyway. I don't want to have to then pick up a TV remote to turn the TV on, off, or whatever. So right now we're just going to focus on the code of actually building the interface for the remote. And then later on, when I actually release the other video, we're going to kind of pull everything together and run through the whole process. So the only real things that I need this remote control to do is turn the power on to the TV, turn the volume up and down, and change the source. I just realized this might be too small, but if I get it too big, I can't actually code because I run out of room on the screen. But anyway, those are the things that I want to be able to control from my phone. I hardly even use source. So really it would be awesome if I could just turn the freaking sound up and down and turn the TV on and off without having to pick up a whole remote just to do that. So we're going to just build the interface. We're going to try to build an elegant interface for it. Because, it could be as simple as these buttons. And this is kind of what I worked out before. So I forgot where I was. I started on this project and then I kind of forgot where I was. But it could basically be as simple as this. We've just got, some buttons right here. We've got a remote div. We've got 4 buttons in this section, and then 4 buttons in this section. And then I have down here, it could be a volume slider, but I'm not sure how that's actually going to logistically work. Because I haven't even started on the code for the microcontroller, I'm not sure if the TV, I may not be able to know what volume level the TV is actually at. I may not really have that feedback. All I know is that I've sent the volume up signal and volume down thing. So they may just have to be buttons. So, this may be as simple as 4 buttons on a screen. So guys, this video may just be me rambling and putting 4 buttons on a screen. Because that's kind of what it is. I said a quadrant of 4 buttons, but I meant a quadrant is 4, right? Whatever. You know what? It's 2 sections with 2 buttons apiece. And so we could look at this down here. If you can see these little bitty buttons, probably best not to watch this on a smartphone. Then you would have, at the top here, we've got power on. So this is the first 2 buttons up here. So we'd have power on, source, and then down here we'd have volume up, volume down. And it could literally be as simple as that. I think that's probably where we're going, and we could leave it at that and just make them buttons and literally put right. So it could be that right there, but that's kind of just stupid looking. So we're going to at least make it nice. What I like to do a lot of times when I'm doing stuff like this is go look at other things that I like. So I'm going to open up a new Chrome window here. And yeah. So I'm going to go look at remote controls. So just remote control app. And then, I don't know, there's things like this, but I don't really like the realism look. Could have this kind of flip. I don't have any use for channel. I guess I could include a mute button. Mute would be good, like just to straight up mute it. I like those icons. So, I don't like the semi-realism of that. I almost like this kind of design, maybe kind of a material type design. Google's material. We could do something like that. Material design, remote control. So, yeah, I mean, this kind of thing. I like that look. I like those buttons down there. So maybe we go with something kind of simple like that. Well, that's a little too blue. Just saw on my phone popped up that the Raspberry Pi No IR camera that I've had in one of my lists on Amazon is now on a deal for $16.95. So I'm going to take a moment and order that. So let's add that to our cart. Yeah, buddy. Freaking. Yeah, like this right here. Okay. Visit the page. So we're going to grab that one. Again, I probably shouldn't apologize, but I am sorry if this is boring. And this was an EPS, so I'm going to open it up in Illustrator. And then I'm going to grab this, scale it down, something like that, and save it. You got to make sure when you're rounding something with CSS by using like border radius that you actually choose, you actually use like square images or SVGs or whatever, like their ratio of width to height, it really needs to be 1:1. Otherwise, you're going to end up with ovals and not actually, have a square. So take this little input icon. It's an SVG. We open it up with VS Code here and grab our same SVG. And then put this in for the source. Should really probably do it like this, so that if we use the tidy feature in CodePen, which, by the way, if you haven't realized, I'm using CodePen. Great site, go check it out. Eventually that'll kick in and do something. So we now, well, we don't have our source. What the crap? This is why I hate things. Pull the style out. I don't understand. So we got to put a width and height on these things. I mean, we'll probably go ahead and change the width and heights via CSS here. So for right now, I'm just going to do simply so there. Now they're both the same width and height. Padding's like 16 pixels. I'm going to set a fill attribute on the SVGs. Definitely want those to be white. See, it's this kind of weird crap. Fills and strokes and I see. Okay, so this icon is like, this power icon is like a stroke. Yeah, see, that's messed up. We need like outlines and stuff. So we're going to select these two. Object, path, and outline stroke. There's probably a better way to do it, but I'm not sure what the keyboard shortcut is for that actually. So while I'm in here, also going to shrink this down. So I want all my padding, just like on the other icon, to come from, I gotta still keep it square, but all my padding, you know, all my extra padding and stuff needs to come. So yeah, we can just save that. All my extra padding and stuff needs to come from actual padding I add with CSS. Get this back open with VS Code. and grab just the SVG piece. So we can, there, see, now we can fix our SVG. This one, I don't know, they both kind of look like an oval, don't they? I don't know, we'll worry about that in a little bit. So let's go get the other two icons, volume up, volume down. I'm not sure how this is a volume icon, but okay. I should have just come to the noun project in the first place. For all of my icons, noun project, they put a little watermark thingy. So I gotta go back in Illustrator here and take out this stuff. And then I need this to be square, so I'm gonna make this 1.33 as well. And then oh my god. Move it like that. Put it in the center. And then, actually, to keep these two the same, so I'm going to do is hit save. But then on the next one that I open, I'm going to just grab the icon, and put the icon in there, and like line it up with that one. They don't seem to be identical, do they? Oh well, they're close enough. Let's take that one off. And I'm going to open up one of them with this. I don't know why I have these different display inlines and stuff. I'm not sure what's going on. But I'm going to clear that out. And just grab the SVG. This should be the volume up, I believe. So yeah. And then the next one, hold on. So I saved that one. And I didn't remove the other one from it. So we like have twice the code that we need, I think. So if I come back over to Illustrator, I think that's what happened. I'm going to pull the minus one into the trash. And then I'm going to save back again on that one. And then open up Make sure plus is open here. I think maybe that's, yeah, so now the styles are gone. So okay. So now we've got our 4 buttons. I would like to, on the buttons, also put a shadow. So we'll go with something like that for right now. Now if we press these buttons, they don't really do, not really doing anything. So yeah, and they're still all bunched up. So I tell you what, let's let most of our padding actually first come from our buttons, or not really our padding, but our margin. So I'm going to make these percentages. So now we've kind of like spread them out, but I don't know. Bring them together, and then what we can do, okay, so I'm just trying to think about how I even want this to look. I'm not sure. I don't know if I want the buttons to be just kind of scale with the screen. Then I end up with just kind of massive buttons on a a bigger screen, and I've just got like a one big button, and I don't know that that's good. So maybe we just make these something better, like 64, and that'll keep it pretty simple. I mean, is what it is. Then we can go ahead and make our padding for this something like 32. Because, I mean, if it works on, just an iPhone 6 or whatever screen, then it's fine. So we've got quite a bit of real estate to work with there. So I think I'm going to just let this be block. Okay. And then I am going to center this entire thing. Oh, I'm thinking about this wrong, I believe. First of all, let's go up here and change our margin. See, I'm confusing myself by you get to see the insanity of the things that I do. So we really don't want that. What we really want, okay, there we go. That's kind of what I wanted to do. I confused myself a little bit going down the Flexbox path, and then I have circled back around, so I spare you the stupidity of myself. It was doable with Flexbox, and I have that pictured in my head now, but this is simple and straightforward because we have the remote, which is a div that goes around here, and then we have the buttons, just in them doing their natural thing. So that's nice. So now we've just basically got this remote with 4 buttons in it, and I think the next thing to do is to change these buttons to be the different colors. Should the plus be on the right side? No, plus would be on top. So I think plus, you should have minus, then plus. There we go. You know, this is what happens, again, when you don't really know what it is that you want to begin with. So there's our buttons. They need to do something neat when they're clicked. A little sass action here. Spend too much time in the JavaScript world. There we go. Now they have a nice little press. We could even, yeah, let's exaggerate that just a little bit more. Press. Okay. So I'll probably leave these two the blue. I'll make this a yellow. So I pulled up this material design color palette here in Photoshop that I just found online. And I'm going to get a yellow or maybe orange. How about orange? Orange for source. So I'm going to select that. And then we'll put some classes on these, as there obviously should have been classes. So our source button here, and then for the button, I'll just go, or actually no, that's wrong. Let's do source. Let's do it this way. Let's go down here. I'm gonna do it like this, just in case I decide to change something else specific about the buttons. That is not what I wanted to change, is it? I didn't want to change the SVG fill. I want to change the background color. Guys, look, I know this is basic, but that's what this is. This is what I need to accomplish, and this is a basic thing. So that's what we're doing, right? And then we're gonna make one for power, and we'll go grab another color out of that cool palette of colors. So let's use this red. Something about choosing a pleasing color. It's just so nice. Something about it. And then up here. And there we go. Now we have power, source, volume down, volume up. And that is our super simple remote control. I might put a little bit more or put some actual padding or something around this. Or maybe just like some padding on top and bottom, so that the sides can still constrain in. All right, so I've decided to come back and add a little bit more to this, maybe. So I think the next thing that I'm gonna do here to this is I've decided I don't like these being left to right on this, and I kind of want them to be flipped. So I want like power, source, volume up, volume down, because that seems more correct. So to do that easily, obviously we still want our same flow over here. So to do that easily, I think if we just grab our sections. So again, most of the time you'd be adding a lot of classes and stuff. But in this case, it's so simple that I really don't need to do that. Just grab the elements. That's good. It's super simple interface. So, will this work? If I flotate them left, and then, so I floated the sections left. So this is section 1, and then this is section 2 over here. So what I need to do now is take the buttons themselves and just display them block, I think. Drink some more coffee. Yeah, look at that. Oh, crap. Now these are reversed. See, I knew when I reversed that earlier that felt weird semantically to reverse them this way. So I'm just going to flip these buttons back. Right? And I think that's better. Yeah, look. So now I have it like that. Okay. Ugh. Now we're not centered anymore, are we? All right. Let's inspect and just see what's happening. I'm sure someone sees it and is like, yeah, you're full of crap, and this was the problem. So, oh. Okay, now remote. Oh, okay. Well, standard float crap. So, the problem is we floated these sections here, and they've broken like the real like width constraint. So we might be able to well, there's a couple ways actually we could fix this. We could either clear the last float and make that bounce back down. I think that would work out. Or, see, this is a big reason why I hate floats. Floats just screw things up a lot. So instead of floating this, I think I'm just gonna also display a block. I'm sure I'm gonna get comments. It's like, all you had to do was, I'm sorry, inline block. And I know it's doable, obviously, but inline block fixes a lot of things. The only thing with inline block that's annoying is the whole gap that you get when you have space or a line break. It actually picks up on those, but a lot of times when I go into production, I inline my code anyway, so that's really not a big deal. But you know, it's whatever. In this case, it really doesn't matter. I mean, there's a gap, an extra gap there. Can you really tell? Does it really matter? Whoop-de-doo. All right. Now what I'm going to do, I think, is just go down here to this section. That is the, I'm going to add a class to my section. So this is my volume section. And I'm going to go ahead and just say vol section, because whether it was a section or a div, it's still the section that contains the volumes. So normally when I name things with classes, you want to make sure that they're agnostic of kind of where they are, and they're more about what they're doing or containing. But in this case, it is a volume section. It's not just that the class on this actual section tag. It's the container, so it could be volume container, but I'm going to say volume section because I really don't like container. I feel like it's so overused. Container this, container that. Volume section, and then what I think I want to do with this is do an and, colon after, and content, it's just a thing. Colon, not semicolon, that's weird. Still weird. Can I do that? I think I can do that. God, I love coffee. Okay. Let's pick us another color from our palette. Like maybe this blue down here, which is similar to the background blue that I used. That I pulled from another control image. So I pulled this background color from a different image. I don't know if I said that. That one of the images we found at the first. I might change it. Now you're like, Caleb, what are you doing? What are you making? What is this thing? I guess I didn't say. I'm not used to saying what I'm making. We're making a line that's going to go between these two, just to spruce it a little bit. And of course, obviously right now, you can't really see it, but that's okay. What we'll do is we'll say position. Guys, I really have a hard time typing and talking, thinking about what I'm going to talk about. So we're going to do 50% on the... God, I just lost my whole train of thought. You try it. There's my line. Look, the line's there. Oh, wow. It's appeared. It's beautiful. And then transform, translate. You were beginning to think it would never actually show up, weren't you? 50%. Does that do both, or does that just do one? Do I have to say comma minus 50%? Does that work? Oh, wait. I've got all this, okay. No, I said padding top and bottom are both. Oh, guys, where am I derping at? What's happening? I said both padding top and bottom. I hate doing it with a small screen. I have a massive monitor in front of me, and I've got it cut down to this little 1080p rectangle. And then I've got stuff blown up so you can see it. It's annoying. You guys are annoying. I'm just kidding. I love you. Please subscribe. Okay, so I just expanded my window and stopped my recording and expanded my window there. So I could open Inspector and see what was happening. And then I realized as soon as I did that, that it was the percentage. So I had height set at, like 75%, and I was just screwing with it. So these are set at static widths, so and heights because of these icons are. So let's just do this with pixels. I'm not gonna get picky with something. I guess another really nice thing or thing that I like to do. Gotta stop saying But a thing I really like to do is to use for the shadows, like use mix-ins in SAS for my shadows when I use like the same shadow a bunch, and then I can just go be like, I want this shadow at this intensity, and it works really well. But anyway, the reason I say shadow, you're like, Caleb, again, what are you talking about? Why are you talking about shadows? Because my brain's telling me to add a shadow to this. But maybe not that much. Maybe just like 2 pixel offsetty thing. And now we have like this cool line. Whatever. Okay. We're gonna let it be like that. So that's our remote control, and then spent way too much time doing whatever I just did. H1 TV remote control. Screwed this up. Let's just wrap these in divs, I guess, because we see our middle line here now is up there, but I want the words TV remote to actually be in the TV remote div. But then that, I'm using this tidy thing a lot simply because I can't see all my code, so it's really hard to tab and indent stuff and things. Why do I feel like that should have worked? Probably because it's not relative to anything. You know what? It's probably because that wasn't relative and this was relative to body before as to why that wasn't working off of percentages. I just realized that. Having this small screen was really screwing with my brain. Gosh. Remote buttons. I would have easily caught that before. What happens is when you shrink your screen down, it just messes with your brain, and you don't realize immediately that it's like, oh yeah, okay, oh, there should have been that. And now that I do this, I'm like, of course, this section has to be relative, and then that'll center that up because now our absolute position of the absolute position of this after element is relative to this block. So now we probably could go back and make this a percentage base. So what did we have? 75%? Let's see if that works. Yes, it does. So that was the problem. That was when it was weird because it was relative to the body, and I didn't see it because of the size of the screen. So it just didn't occur to me at the time. So anyway, now that I see that, I want to make it 65 probably, and the percentage is nice. Whatever. So if we change other things, then this will just scale with it, and we don't have to worry about it. Yeah, I think that's looking kind of neat. I don't like that font. Okay, so I'm going to jump over to this thing I built that there's no data coming into. You can see when I this is the analog temperature sensor. Analog temperature sensor. This is the temperature sensor, dual temperature sensor thing that I built, and I think in it I used this. So I can use this font that I like, a font I like, which is Lato. And I think just by adding it in here, it's gonna look, things are gonna look better. I don't know how to make sense of. I guess it's like an additional spacing. Not sure how that works as far as what it computes for the letter spacing, but I do know I like that. I like that better. So cool. TV remotes. I guess let's take a look at the JavaScript and see what we can do. I sort of wrote this in here before, where it's kind of a functional thing where it's like a constant that's a function that's power that takes in the state, whether it's on or off. And so we're gonna I'm gonna continue along that thought process. Every time you click a button, it's gonna have to run a function. That function is going to create a fetch request because we're going to use a microcontroller that will be receiving those requests to turn the TV on and off and stuff. And actually, the microcontroller will actually be sending the correct codes to the TV. This just needs to tell the microcontroller, hey, I want you to turn it on or turn the volume up or turn the volume down. And honestly, the on probably isn't an on or off. It's probably the same signal, and just depending on, it's like flipping a Boolean value. So I'm not really sure of any of that because I haven't gotten to that part of it. I haven't even looked at the codes or captured any of them. I don't even have my IR receiver or sensors in from China yet that are coming from eBay. So I guess I'm just gonna get it together as much as I can. It's kind of what I would do. Probably what we should do is I'm gonna just pull this down so I can see all my code. Oh, thank God I can see it. At least a little. So let's go ahead and assign some IDs to our buttons. And then let's get those IDs, make those IDs accessible from JavaScript. Okay. So now I have all those. And we can come down here and start applying like states to them. So, or whatever you want to call it, we're gonna apply the state changers. So we say power button dot add event listener. So I was thinking these really won't take in any state. I don't think, because I guess we'll just do them individual. Let's just keep it simple. So just be power, a power function that does something. So that sends a certain code. Now, another way that I could do this is I could have a single function that takes in the button that we're pressing and stuff and runs it. But I don't. I think we'll just keep it real simple. The benefit of that would be that I would only have to create one kind of fetch command. Let's do this the right way. So, here's what I think is the right way. Const. My idea of the right way. Send command equals the command to send. So this is going to take in the command, and then the command, and then do something with it. And presumably we could either have this be like an object that comes in. So it's like, do we want to turn the power on and off, or the volume up or down, or is it just a single text? Probably just text, because we don't need to send anything else with it. We just need to say volume up, volume down. These are really simple commands. We're not saying, yeah. So okay, so we'll take in the command, and then we'll do something with the command that will happen. So when we hit the power button, when we click the power button, we want to run the power function, which is going to run the send command function and pass in that we want to turn the power on. Power. So we've pressed the power button. So I guess just basic if statement here. If power? No, maybe not. What should we do? Fetch. Fetch. So it's going to be a fetch to an endpoint that I don't know of yet. And then the fetch takes in an object with a method. We want to make a post. Just plain text that says power. I mean, we could make this a object or something like that, but I guess it's going to be one that just, God, okay, it's super simple. So when this comes in, it's going to be the command. Let's just pass the command straight to it, because a lot of this is going to have to be have to be fleshed out. I don't even know. Again, there's a few unknowns. So for now, this is what all this is really going to do. We don't even have to make any kind of if statements or switch statements or anything like that. We can just say the command takes it in, fetch, and it like totally does that. So power, send command to power, takes that in, and then we can just duplicate this and make it So power, source, volume up, volume down. And then we got to actually add the event listeners to fire those. And now that will work. So I think that's pretty much it for the simple JavaScript of this. When the power button is pressed, when this power button gets pressed, it will do that. It will run the power function, which runs a send command with power in it. And same thing for all of the other ones, volume up, volume down, all that good stuff. Let's just make sure real quick by opening up the console in CodePen that when we press buttons, I'll add some quick console logs. All right, so now I have some just console logs added to these volume to the different functions for the buttons, simply because I don't really have the API set up in the microcontroller to receive any of this stuff. I'm just gonna come through and press this. Fall up, down. Oh my God. Oh, you know, it helps if you change the names of your buttons to the corresponding buttons. This is why we test, people, and this is what happens when you attempt to code live and you screw things up like this because you can't see all of your code. I'm making excuses for my stupidity, I think. So, all right, now let's do this. Let's clear that. Power, source, volume up, volume down. Cool. And those will call the corresponding API calls. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. I think that's as far as I'm going to take this. This time we have the interface fleshed out, and we have the base JavaScript code for the interface fleshed out that's going to actually be sending these commands. Please stay tuned for a more polished video that's the build of this that will include the microcontroller code. I'm sure we'll go through the microcontroller code. I don't think I'm going to do a let's code for it, but I might. But it will include a brief overview of this, what we just did here, the microcontroller code, and the actual entire build of it, which may include some 3D printing. And if this doesn't include 3D printing, then my other project, which is going to be magnetic lock for my office door, will definitely include some 3D printing. So stay tuned for that fun stuff and those build projects, and I will talk to you guys later. Oh yeah, please get subscribed if you're not already subscribed. Peace.